All right, let's dive into something pretty wild today. We're looking at a new tool from Alibaba Cloud called Qwen 3 TTS, and trust me, it's got some features that are seriously pushing the limits of what we thought was possible with AI voices. So, let's get right into it.
But first, let me ask you something. What if you could literally be a voice architect? What if you could dream up the perfect voice for, I don't know, a character, a project, or just for fun, and create it just by typing a few words? Well, that's not sci-fi anymore. That's what we're talking about today.
And that brings us right to our first section, designing your custom voice. This is, without a doubt, one of the coolest features of Qwen 3 TTS. It gives you a level of creative control that is, well, it's pretty incredible.
So the whole idea is actually beautiful in its simplicity. You just write a short description of the voice you want to hear. Maybe you need an angry narrator, a super happy announcer, or even a really sarcastic character. Just think about what this means for indie game developers or animators. You can now generate totally unique voice acting without a huge budget. You just give it a prompt, and the AI handles the rest.
And the process itself? It could not be easier. You just describe the voice, type out your script, pick your language, and boom, hit generate. That's it. It's that simple. Now check this out, because this is where you can really see the range of this thing. The original creator who tested this model gave it two totally different prompts. For the first one, they asked for a sarcastic tone, and the voice it generated was just dripping with irony. Then, for the second, they asked for a happy, relaxed person excited about a vacation, and it came back with this genuinely upbeat and joyful voice. It just shows you how well it can capture all those little nuances from just a bit of text.
But, you know, as amazing as designing a voice is, Qwen 3 TTS has an even bigger trick up its sleeve. And this is where things get, well, personal. For a lot of you, this is going to be the real showstopper.
That's right. We're talking about voice cloning, the ability to make a digital copy of your own voice that can say anything you type. This isn't just about creating new characters anymore. It's about being able to digitize the one voice you know best. I mean, think about the potential here. Personalized audiobooks, or even as a tool for people who've lost their ability to speak. It's huge. And again, you'd think this would be some complicated process, right? Nope. It's incredibly simple. You record or upload a quick sample of your voice. You can even give it a transcript of what you said to get even better quality. Then you just type what you want your voice clone to say, and you're done.
So what about the results? While they kind of speak for themselves, the creator of our source material was absolutely stunned by it. They said, quote, "Honestly, this is the model that best captured my voice tone." Now, when someone who tests these kinds of tools for a living is that impressed, you know you're looking at something really special. The accuracy is just next level.
Okay, so you're probably wondering, what kind of supercomputer do I need to run this thing? Let's get into the nitty-gritty for all of you who want to try this on your own machine.
So, Qwen 3 TTS basically comes in two flavors. There's the large neural, which has 1.7 billion parameters. You can think of those as the neurons in its brain, and it needs about 6 to 7 gigs of your graphics card's memory, or VRAM. But for those of us with a less beefy setup, there's also a smaller model. It has 0.6 billion parameters and only needs about 4 gigs of VRAM, which honestly makes it way more accessible than you'd think.
As for languages, it already covers a pretty wide range. We're talking Chinese, English, Japanese, French, Spanish, Russian, and more. But, and this is a really important point from the source material, Arabic is not yet supported. Its future inclusion is hugely anticipated and is really seen as a potential game changer for a massive number of users.
Okay, so that brings us to the home stretch, how you can actually try this out for yourself and what the future might hold for this amazing technology.
And the great news is, you don't have to wait. You can go over to Hugging Face right now and mess around with the demo. And if you're feeling a bit more adventurous and your computer's up to the task, you can also just download the whole model from GitHub and run it locally.
But the story of Qwen 3 TTS is definitely not over. Like we mentioned, for a huge number of people, especially in the Middle East and North Africa, the true power of this tool is going to be unleashed when they finally add Arabic language support. The anticipation for that update is absolutely immense.
And all of this leaves us with one last, pretty big question to think about. As this kind of technology gets better and easier for everyone to use, it really forces us to think about what our digital identity even is. I mean, when your voice, something so uniquely you, can be perfectly replicated, what does that mean for communication, for security, and for how we even present ourselves to the world online? It's definitely something to think about.